Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class in this chapter motion, we were talking about acceleration. What is an acceleration? Acceleration is what? When there is a change in the velocity in the body, in a moving body, with respect to time, that will help in giving the acceleration. So, we came to know about it that acceleration is what in which the velocity keeps on changing. If velocity is changing, then with respect to time, then we will say that the acceleration is produced or body is accelerating. So, we have seen that what is the SI unit of acceleration. So, SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square, and we can find the value of the acceleration by final velocity minus initial velocity upon time taken. That will be what? That will be the term, the value or the formula by which we are able to find the value of the acceleration. Acceleration is basically divided into two. That is positive acceleration and negative acceleration. If we talk about the positive acceleration, it is also divided into two. And that is uniform and non-uniform acceleration. Uniform acceleration is what in which the velocity of the body keeps on increasing by equal amount in equal interval of a time. That will be what? That will be the uniform acceleration. And if the acceleration is, if the velocity of the body keeps on increasing by unequal amount in an equal interval of a time, that will be a non-uniform acceleration. So these both are what in which the velocity is increasing. Okay, in one by equal amount, in other one it is by unequal amount. So that is what that comes in the positive acceleration. Second one is when you look at the graph, students, that we will going to discuss later on. So in case of a uniform acceleration, you will get a straight line. But in case of a non-uniform, obviously you will get a curved line because of the unequal amount of a change in the velocity happens. Negative acceleration, it is also called as retardation. So here the velocity keeps on decreasing by equal amount in an equal interval of a time. That is called as the negative acceleration. Or we use another term for it, that is called as retardation. So either you can say positive acceleration or negative acceleration, or negative acceleration you can say the other name of the negative acceleration is retardation. We have also seen that the value of the negative acceleration, if we talk about the SI unit in all, you will see that there is no difference in the SI unit. It is represented by meter per second square. But here the value that we will use, it will be what? It will be in a negative sign. This is the only difference you will find in the acceleration and retardation. The slope, the kind of a slope that you will find in case of a retardation, it will be at the it will be a straight line, but it will be upside down. It is going to the downward direction, which help in telling that velocity keeps on decreasing. So this is the difference that you will find in case of acceleration or in case of the retardation. Okay, the slope also just opposite to each other. At first, straight line that is going towards upward direction, the other one just going towards downward. This is the only difference that you will find. Next one is, students, that is average velocity. Average velocity. What is an average velocity? So, we can say here the arithmetic mean of the arithmetic mean of initial and final velocity velocity is called as average velocity. The arithmetic mean of initial and final velocity, it is called as the average velocity, students. So if suppose we will represent the average velocity, we represent it by mu and bar is there. Okay. So represented by nu bar. Okay. This is the average velocity. So this will be equals to, first of all let me write in words that what is an average velocity. So it will be equals to average velocity is equals to initial velocity plus final velocity. Final velocity plus initial velocity. Now we have to take the arithmetic mean, so it will be divided by 2. Okay, let me write it again here. That is average velocity is equals to initial velocity plus final velocity. Initial plus final velocity divided by 2. Okay. Now this average velocity is represented by nu bar. This is equals to initial velocity is represented by u and final velocity is represented by v. This is divided by 2. So u plus v divided by t is what? This is how we can find the average velocity. These all things are really important, student, whether the formula of the speed, whether the formula to find the velocity, whether the formula to find that of the acceleration, what is the initial velocity, what is the final velocity. Initial velocity, the velocity with which the object started to move. That is the initial velocity. And final velocity, it is the velocity by which it was moving or it has stopped. That was the final velocity. Okay, so initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, then average velocity also. How can we find the average velocity of an object? So this is the initial and the final velocity. We will solve some numericals related to it, but before that, let us try to understand equation of motion. This is very important topic to understand, student, and that is equation of uniformly accelerated motion. Equation of uniformly accelerated motion. Equation of a uniformly accelerated motion. Basically, there are three equations of motion if a body is moving with a uniform acceleration, students. So we can say there are three equations of motions are there. Equation of uniformly accelerating motion or equation of a uniformly accelerated body. Accelerated motion of a body. And here basically this equation helps in telling the relationship between the initial final position, final initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, time taken, as well as the distances. So these equations are quite important line, student, that these equations helps in telling the relationship between initial velocity, final velocity, initial velocity, time taken, distance traveled. Time taken, distance traveled by the body. So basically it helps in telling the relationship of acceleration with initial velocity, final velocity, time taken, distance traveled by the bodies. So basically these three equations of motion is helpful in telling the relationship. So there are, student, I told you there are three equations of a uniformly accelerated motion. So we will start with the first equation of motion. Then we will see the second and then third. It is quite important to know the third, all the three equation of motion, students. We will derive the equation of motion. So it is also really important to know the derivation because the questions related to the derivations will come. So you should know that what is the derivation to find all the three equation of motion. Okay. So let us start with the first equation of motion, student. The first equation of motion is V is equals to U plus AT. Okay. So first equation of motion. These all equation of motion, it should be there in your copy because it's quite very important. Okay. So first equation of motion. While deriving the derivation, student, it is really important to write the statement. It is not like that you simply write the formulas, the equations. No, you have to write the equations with the statement. It is quite compulsory. Okay. So the first equation of motion is V is equals to U plus AT. First equation of motion is V is equals to U plus AT. V is equals to U plus AT. And what does it tell us, students? It gives the velocity acquired by a body in time t. By a body in time t. It gives the velocity acquired by the body in time t. So suppose a body was there which is moving with the initial velocity u and then is subjected to an acceleration a with respect to time. So what will be the final velocity at that time? It will becomes v. So how can you find the acceleration? What will be the equation of the acceleration? So I hope you have understood this fact that this is the first equation of motion, v is equals to u plus at, that we will derive right now. And this equation, it helps in telling the relationship between, or it gives the velocity acquired by the body in time t. You can see here that what velocity is acquired by the body in particular amount of a time, that we will going to find out with the help of the first equation of a motion. So the statement that we will write it here, that is, consider a body is moving with the initial velocity u. Moving with the initial velocity u, and then subjected to an acceleration A, subjected to an acceleration A. So that the time t and its final velocity will be v. Okay, so initial velocity is u, acceleration a, time is t, and final velocity is v. At that time, what will be? We can define here. How can we represent the acceleration? So we know that acceleration is equals to final velocity minus initial velocity upon t. So final velocity minus initial velocity upon time taken. You see here what happens, students. So we have supposed a body was moving with the initial velocity u, and then the velocity increases, due to which it accelerated. So it undergoes an acceleration, which is, suppose the acceleration is not mentioned here. So it undergoes an acceleration a at a time, that is t, and at that time its final velocity, means the velocity keeps on increasing and the final velocity increases, and the final velocity is represented by v. So how can we represent it in equation? So we know that acceleration is equals to final velocity minus initial velocity upon time taken. I hope you have understood up to here. Then this we can represent in equation again, and that will be, so we can write it here. Acceleration is represented by a. Although you can start writing with acceleration is equals to change in velocity upon time taken, that we are already knowing about it. Change in velocity is represented by final minus initial velocity upon time taken. Final velocity, acceleration is represented by small a, students. Final velocity, you know that we have already taken with in the statement itself, we have written also that final velocity is represented by small v and initial velocity by small u. So v minus u, and time is represented by t. Okay, this is what, this is the first equation. So suppose we have taken, this is what, this was the first equation. Or we can simply rearrange it. So now we can write it also, like t will go to this side and it will become at is equals to v minus u. Okay, this denominator will goes to the, because this denominator is for whole of the numerator. So that's why the t will goes to a, it will become at is equals to v minus u. Or we can also write it as this u, this minus u, if it will goes to this side, it will become plus minus, it will become plus here. So u plus at, or you can also write it like, in order to make it easy to understand, you can also write it like this minus, when it goes to this side, at plus u is equals to v. There is no difference. Either you can write it like that, or you can write it u plus at is equals to v. This is the same thing. Okay. Ultimately, the u will become minus, u will become plus here, because at the other side it was minus. Okay. So we can write it here. U plus at is equals to v, or we can write it v is equals to u plus at. That is the same thing only. Okay. So v is equals to u plus at. This is what, this is the first equation of motion. First equation of motion. Now you can write it, v is equals to what? That is the final velocity of body. U is equals to what? That is the initial velocity of a body. And A, acceleration. T is what? That is time taken. Okay, T is time taken. So this will help, this equation, it help in telling the relationship between that of the velocity with the acceleration. So if any of the three values given out of this four quantities, if any of the three we are knowing, we are able to find the fourth one. Okay, because if u is given, a is given, t is given, we are able to get the v. If v is given, u is given, t is given, we are able to get the a. If u is not given and t, a and b is given, we are able to find it. So any of the three out of this four is given, we are able to find that value. So this is what, this is the first equation of motion. Now let us see the second equation of motion. So the second equation of motion is S is equals to ut plus half at square. Is S is equals to ut plus half at square. This equation will give the distance travelled by the body at a time t. This equation distance travelled by a body at time t. So with this equation we are able to find the distance travelled by a body at time t. Now let us start to understand this equation. So suppose a body was moving. I am writing the statement here, students. So suppose a body is moving with the initial velocity u. Moving with the initial velocity u and covers a distance s in time t and its acceleration is a. Acceleration is a. Okay. Also, its final velocity is v. So it was moving with the initial velocity u and accelerated with an acceleration a in time t. Its final velocity is v, students, and the distance it covered, that is represented by s. So how can we find? We are able to find the distance traveled. First of all, we have to find the value of a distance traveled. So the distance traveled, we can find it with the help of the average velocity, and average velocity is represented by, it is represented by u plus v upon t upon 2. Okay, this is what? This is the average velocity. And average velocity, what do we know about the velocity? We know that velocity is equals to distance travelled upon time. So if suppose we have to find the value of the distance travelled, how we are able to find it? So we are able to find it by the formula, and that is, here we have taken the velocity as an average velocity. So we can also write it, average velocity is equals to distance upon time, or distance is equals to average velocity into time. See, these all equations I am doing just to find the value of the distance. At first we have to find the value of a distance here. Now distance is represented by s. Distance is represented by S here. So we can write it S. We all know that S. Average velocity was what? U plus V upon 2, and time we know that we used to represent it by T. Okay. This is an equation. So suppose this is the first equation. Now from first equation of motion, we know that V is equals to U plus AT. Right? V is equals to U plus AT. So here we can put the value of a V here in the first equation. Putting value of V in first equation. So V is equals to U plus AT. So S is equals to V. Sorry, S is equals to U plus. This is V, students, and we know that V is equals to U plus AT. So we can write it U plus AT upon 2 into T. Right? This U plus AT came from this one. We have put the value of a V here. Right? Now, this will becomes as S is equals to 2U plus AT upon 2 into T. Right? Now, this will be equals to, now you see here students, we can also write it S is equals to 2U plus AT upon 2 into T. Now this T will get multiplied with both of the terms, right? Like S is equals to 2U will multiply with T because we have to open the bracket now. Okay, so it will become 2UT plus this AT will also get multiplied with T and it will become AT square upon 2. Right? Because you see 2U plus AT. How this 2U came? By U plus U plus AT. So U plus U, that is equals to 2U. So 2U plus AT upon 2 into T. So it will be equals to 2UT plus AT square. Now we can also write it like S is equals to 2UT upon 2 plus AT square upon 2. This is the same thing only. I am simply taking this U2 at the first two of the numerator, then the second one. This is the same thing. There is no any change. If you take the LCM of this 2, then also you will. Suppose this is an equation and you have to take an LCM of this. What it will be? It will become 2 and this will be 2UT plus AT square. So there is no difference in this one and this one. So we can also write this equation in this form. Okay. So after writing this equation in this form, you will get that this 2 will cancel each other and it will remains the same. So we can also write it as S is equals to UT plus, because this 2, there is no denominator right now. So we will cut the denominator, it is now UT only, and this is what? This is AT square upon 2. We can write it like that, students. Now this one, I am writing from here to here. So now this one, it will be equals to S is equals to, this is UT plus, this is what? This is AT square upon 2, or we can write it as a half AT square. Right? So this is what? This is the second equation of motion. So how do we have found it, student? First of all, we find the average velocity. With the help of the average velocity, we find the distance. Then we put the first equation of motion, value of velocity, add this one, this distance value. Then we have solved the equation and we got the second equation of motion, that is S is equals to UT plus half AT square. Where S is what? That is the distance travelled. U, initial velocity of the body. Then A, acceleration. Then T. T is what? That is time t. So this basically help in telling the distance, relationship between the distance and that of the acceleration and time. Okay.